On left hand, please. Thanks.
You did run.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I like running.
Well, clearly. I was trying to set up my live on the Osmo. But I couldn't quite get it to work. You just sort your bag out there.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. Right, okay, this is the second time round. Let me turn my brightness up. There we go. Right, I'm going to see how this live goes. So, this is the first time I've actually run a YouTube live. So, I'm just going to do like a Q&A. So, I'm going to talk about YouTube. I think it's relevant to this live. Normally I would live stream on TikTok, but I feel like I should be pushing my YouTube lives a lot more, or certainly scheduling them into my week. And what we are going to talk about today is the possibility of actually escaping a 9-to-5, and we'll talk about YouTube as one of the prime tools and vehicles to actually get out of a 9-to-5 job. Now I've been on YouTube for I don't know, about five and a half years actively. Well, no, actually a little bit less, maybe 4 years I've been posting on YouTube. And only in the last well, not even year, I would say 8-9 months, has my YouTube got to a point where it's actually starting to do things. So, you know, consistency is honestly the key to everything. I think, especially with social media, you know, people assume that social media is like an overnight thing. It's really not. It's graft. You need to put in the time, the effort. You need to do things in volume. But it is absolutely worth it. I did a video on my YouTube channel about, you know, if you go in for 12 months on YouTube specifically and TikTok, not only can you replace a job, but you'll never have to work a 9-to-5, and you'll never have to go and earn an average salary again. Just from YouTube. Right, what I am going to do, I'm just going to play around with the features just to make sure that I know exactly how this doodah works. Right. Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got lighting feature. This is my first ever proper YouTube live. Ever. I've never done a YouTube live before. So I don't even know where the comments will come up. I am going to see if I can see my own live on my YouTube channel. Let me see how it comes out. Oh, I can. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me put something in the chat saying this is my first live. I can't even comment. Here we go. Right. Okay, cool. Yo, what's going on? So I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can actually type into my live. And can you hear me? Let's see if I can hear myself. Oh, I can. There we go. So yeah, this isn't normally my platform for live streaming. So I'm just getting used to this, by the way. This is the first time I've ever used YouTube for live streaming. So what I am going to try and do is I'm going to be trying to set up my live streams on this DJI Osmo. So this is freaking awesome, right? This Osmo. If you haven't ever used the Osmo, okay, great, you can hear me. All right, awesome. I'm going to try and set up my live streams on this because supposedly you can live stream on the Osmo now. I was having some issue getting it going, but anyway. Okay, look, I'm going to do exactly what I do on my TikTok live streams, and I'm going to start talking about a life by design. So, yo, how's it going, Jan? Okay, everyone, life by design. So this is something I talk a lot about. How do you design a life that you want for you and your family, right? It's not as complicated as what you think. So my message is life by design means knowing exactly what you want from your purpose, what your family wants, how much money you need to make, where do you want to be in 10 years time, where do you want to be in 20, 30, 40 years time, what do you want your retirement to look like, right? That is a life by design. And what do you need in order to get there? So for me, in my 20s, so I speak about this in my content, but in my 20s, I had my son. Yeah, well, at 20 years old, my son came into in my life. Me and my partner had our son, and I knew that I didn't want to be in a job. I just knew that I didn't want to build someone else's dreams. I was very, very conscious at an early age of the unfair exchange of time that was being given for me to give an employer 10 hours of my time every day for 40 hours a week for 180 hours a month. I was not okay with that. Yo, Timothy, what's going on, man? I've been enjoying your videos for a couple of weeks now. Awesome. Well, Timothy, this is my first ever YouTube live. So I don't really know how the algorithm works on this. So I normally do TikTok live streams. So I'm assuming if anyone puts any thumbs up, I think that will help the live. So if anyone can put a thumbs up, I think it will help the live. I don't know, maybe. So been enjoying your okay, done that one. Your videos have helped me so much. Awesome. Yo, Eddie, what's going on, man? Yes, rude bosses. I quit my job 3 months ago. Nice. What's the plan now? What have you got lined up? So yeah, for me, I'll just quickly finish off what I'm saying. I just didn't want to work for someone else. I just didn't. So I really needed to figure out my money situation. So that was like number one, is how much money do I need to make independently on my own for me to be able to walk away from a job? And in my last job, I did a video about it, but I left a career which was heading down the path of about £50,000 a year. And I took a massive pay cut down to about £25,000 a year, because what that allowed me to do was work a 4 on and 3 off. 2 seconds.
It's yogurt.
No, I want you can eat that down here. Yeah, because
Yeah,
otherwise you leave it upstairs. That's just my son, who now is nearly 12 years old. He's getting big, my boy now. Aren't you? Not a little boy anymore, are you? Hey?
Huh?
Not a little boy anymore. So, in fact, what I will do, I'll show you some stuff of me at work that will give you a bit of a laugh. Like I say, I normally do all these live streams on my TikTok, but I'll show you some videos of me at my last job. Yo, James, been stuck working for the same bank for 20 years. Out of nowhere, been told I'm being made redundant and leave in 8 weeks' time. I'm 39 with a mortgage and family, quite nervous. Help. Pay is decent, 60k, but that won't last forever. I'm also happy in my job as I work as a chemist in a nuclear power plant, but it's not my passion, working on my escape plan. So look, okay, so let's go through 4 things, right? So James and Jan, there's 4 things that everyone needs to do before you leave your job, or if you are in, if you're transitioning and you're leaving your job. There's 4 evaluations. Number 1 is your time evaluation. You really, really need to understand, where is your time going? You really need to evaluate from Monday to Sunday, what do you do with your time currently? You have to excuse me, it's so hot in the UK at the moment. I've got a bit of a shine on me, it's so hot. And you need to understand where you're allocating your time. And then what you need to do is you need to claw back as much time as possible, because time is of the essence. And then you need to understand how to redeploy that time to work on yourself in order to replace your income, or in James's case, you're coming to the end, or you're being made redundant, or you've got to pay out of this 60k. How long 60k going to last you? So time, number one. Number two is your financial evaluation. Get rid of anything that you don't need. Now TV, Disney, Xbox, I don't know, whatever, right? Payments you do not need, get rid of. Reduce your outgoings as much as possible for the foreseeable, for the next year, 2, 3 years. And then number three is your social evaluation. Yo, Lainey, how's it going? How's it going? Yo, is it Luigi? How's it going? So your financial evaluation, right? You do that. Then your social evaluation. If you're going to change your life and you're going to put yourself in a position where you're able to go and build your own business or become financially independent, you're going to need other winners around you. You have to be around supportive, ambitious, driven, disciplined, focused individuals. If you are going to make a shift in your life, you need to get around great people. And then finally, number 4 is your self-evaluation. Are you actually cut out for doing this? Entrepreneurship is by far one of the hardest things I've ever done. I love it, but it is hard as you like. It is so incredibly hard. So those are 4 evaluations that you need to do if you are at a point in your life where change needs to be made. Yo, Jimmy, what's going on, big boy? Hi, Aaron. I have a mortgage paid off and done with my corp career. Awesome. Well, it's a great position to be in. What's the plan now? Awesome. I said it right. Lainey, well, nice to see you on live here, just in the car. So got this on the Bluetooth. Nice. Yeah, well, I've got to start doing these lives now. I've been meaning to do YouTube. Well, like I say, obviously I announced that I've got this Osmo, so I'm going to try and do my live streams on there. He sounds like a grown-up. Glad you escaped the Matrix to see your son grow up. Yeah, and yo, hey D, how's it going? Yeah, that's the whole point. Like, my son here is pretty much the sole reason I was able to leave my job in my 20s. For anyone who doesn't know, I do Amazon FBA side hustle. Wow, Aaron is live, so cool. Yeah, I'm here. Can I just ask, let me just put a poll. I think I can do a poll. Does everyone know what I actually do, right? Let me just, because, does anyone, right, there we go. I've just put a poll. So there we go, start using the poll. I don't know where the poll is. So if you, does anyone actually know what I do for a living? Some of you might know, but do any of you actually know? You can either do the poll. Adam, the 9 to 5, the same thing every day. It's not healthy for like 5 years before a promotion. Okay, let me just check this poll. I'll read out all the comments in a second. Let me just see. Okay, so some of you don't actually know what I do, right? Let me show you what I do. Okay, so right. Well, okay, cool. Well, I'll share with you what I do. So I suppose this is the cool thing about YouTube, because some people go, they go, what does this man actually do for a living? Well, I can share a few things with you. Okay, so firstly, for anyone who doesn't know, let me just minimize this poll. How do I minimize the poll? Okay, let's get rid of the poll. Okay, so everyone, I'll read out the comments in just a second. So Jan, I'll share something. So let me start. So in my 20s, I started a wedding business. It went okay, eventually failed. I started an eBay business in my early 20s, late teens. I had it for a couple of years where I sold clothing. It did okay. I worked a job pretty much from leaving school. I left school with one GCSE, which was PE. I never went to college. I never went to university. So I will show you what I do and what I have done. So in my early 20s, for those of you who don't know, I started what would be classed as like a finance brokerage. So does everyone know what a finance brokerage? It was a sole trading company. It did very well. I had an office in Mayfair and I made a lot of money raising private investment in my 20s. So I was able to cash stack a lot of money whilst working a full-time job in my 20s. I'm also the co-founder of one of the fastest growing events companies. So this is really cool that I get to show you this. But for anyone that doesn't know, this is my events company. We also have a clothing company. And what I'll do is I'll just share. Oh, let me just mute the live. So I can show you. So this is our events company. And obviously I'm showing you this because some of you might not know what I actually do. Had a lot, but I knew the code. Lot of debate in my numero. Not the 3, not the 2, I'm the UNO. Yeah. Numero UNO. Me and Trizzy like the Super Bowl. Man, then the biggest. Sales and Business Accelerator. Basically everything to do with maximising your business, learning sales in the 21st century, and really living a life that is fulfilled. So we run all different types of events around the country. We run red carpet events, big events, online events, PR events, and all sorts. And this is some of the team I'll share with you. We also have a franchise. This is some of the team. Let me just mute this. I don't know why that's. This is some of the team that work within Peak Performance. So these are some of the people that we've brought on board as a team, and they're all brilliant. So that's one of the things that I do. I run this events company in London. I still run my finance brokerage, but I don't actually get involved in it in myself. I have a lady who does pretty much all the capital raising for me now. I run an education company, which is called Nightly Education. And I also have a new ventures company, which is called Nightly Ventures Limited. And that is basically the host of what will be this new tech startup. So obviously my TikTok, my social media, my personal brand, all this kind of stuff is also a part of everything that I do within business and stuff like that. So yeah, for any of you that didn't know, I was able to leave my job by making a lot of money by raising private capital, and now I do a million different things. I've written a few books on Amazon. I've got a few products online. I've got a load of e-learning. We're growing the events team. Obviously, we are growing the franchise. So we're now franchising that events company. And yeah, there's a lot going on. And I'm starting this brand new tech company, which is really exciting. And I'll be announcing that very soon when we have the trademark and the patent for it. So yeah, it's all exciting. But I can show you something else. So we're actually building this company to a valuation of 25 million. There we are in a suited and booted. This is one of our offices in a place called Bromley in London. I don't know if any of you know that, but these are some of our partners, which is Lord Sugar's company. Something that is pretty cool actually within our brand is we partnered. Again, this is stuff that I don't really get a chance to actually talk about on YouTube because I'm typically talking about the workplace. But something which is pretty cool, which I can share with you, is we actually partnered with, it's coming up, where is it? I know it's around here somewhere. Just hold fire. My God, I mean, we've taken a lot of photos. Yeah, so we partnered with Lord Alan Sugar. So Trademark Wizards is the company that trademark our entire company globally as well, which is really cool. And we also run, if I can find it, See if I can find the video. We've got a wicked video for our... We've ran some... let's go on this one here.
Listen to me now.
So we have like stationery, we have clothing, we have all sorts. So, but let me just share. This is pretty cool. So we run London PR events, which is really cool. Today we are in Leicester Square in London. We're here at the remastered version of Rise of the Foot Soldier. We are super pumped. We're going to be listening and learning from some people who have some awesome journeys in the acting career.
That's
my business partner.
Some known faces. So do not go anywhere. Stay tuned. I'm going to get into it. It is absolutely mental at the moment. We're live on TikTok. It's absolutely mental.
Be original.
Just be yourself.
Always do things out of your comfort zone.
Stop looking for approval.
Find something you're passionate about. Just gotta keep on going. You just gotta keep on pushing through. Stay down to earth. Stay on your grind.
Consistency, and a bit more consistency.
So there you go. Anyway, yeah. So for anyone who didn't know what I actually do, that's what I do. So yeah, it's yeah. So behind the scenes, behind YouTube, I'm very busy. We got the finance company, the events company, the clothing company, the new tech startup, and then partnerships and brands and sponsors, the education side of it, the memberships, obviously TikTok, social, YouTube as well, stuff like that. So it's all good fun. Right, let me catch up with the comments. Is it stressful paying salaries? No, because everything's pretty much automated, and also we sort of deal with accounts who we basically hire freelance solopreneurs, which is what I talk about in my video. Hire freelance solopreneurs. Huh?
When I'm coming, you won't open the door again.
Yeah, just keep the door. Yeah, just because it's too hot in there, mate.
Yeah, I know.
I think the cat's down there as well, so she'll probably follow you down.
Yeah, she doesn't. Where's the key?
The cabin's open. Just make sure that the door is open, dude, though. Otherwise it'll get too hot. Cambria, how's it going? Well, we're not hiring at the moment, just not at the moment. Work hard, play hard, absolutely. With the help of your videos, my YouTube channel is being recognised rapidly. I went from 25 subscribers to 400 subscribers in over 4 days. Awesome. It looks like movie premiere. Yeah, that was a movie premiere. So we've done music premieres, we've done movie premieres. We've done red carpet launch events for restaurants, and we've done big events, online events, entrepreneurial events, all sorts. We've done loads of events. Yeah, there was a there's a cat. My dream and goal is to be a writer. I have a plan and will execute it within 6 months. Wish me luck. I have savings to cover my expenses for 20 years. Awesome, love that. Nice. I remember you saying Amazon FBA isn't something you would do. I do it as a side hustle. How come you don't like it? So for me personally, and I'll show you, I don't like to get involved now in things that have moving parts. So I'll show you a couple of things. I really only want to deal with things that are digital, scalable. In fact, let me just show you something really cool. Let me just bring up my Canva. And then I can explain it in a bit more detail. By the way, I'll say it again, honestly, create. Yeah, I've worked with all different types of celebrities, big creators. Yeah, we've got a good portfolio. I can show you some stuff in a minute. I've just got to... Let me share. I just want to bring up a slide and then I can share something with you. Right, let me see what one this is. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me just share this with you. Right, we'll go through some stuff here that's pretty cool. I'll run through it. I won't do too much, but I'll run through it, and I can show you some of the faces that I've worked with. Oh, it's on that one. Just 2 seconds. So I can show you here. So I went to, let me just grab my phone. So there's Big Zoo. So I went to Big Zoo, Jay Alderton. I can never remember his name. He's been in a lot of gangster films. Mikey Pierce, bloody John Hedges, professional boxer. Mark Wright. Sam Vanderpump is a good friend of mine out of, Lisa Vanderpump, who's in Beverly Hills. She sent my wife a message. There's, not Kieran Conway, professional boxer. Mikey Pierce, YouTuber. You've got Damien Talks Money. And then I think you've got Maisie out of Game of Thrones. Simon Squibb's a good friend of mine. I don't know, some of you should know Simon Squibb. Brandon B is massive on YouTube. Ali Abdul's a friend of mine. So yeah, there's quite a few people that I've been able to partner with and stuff like that, which is really cool. Julius Dean. There's Monty from anyone who watches The Gladiators in the UK. Daniel Priestley, who was on Diary of a CEO. Rob Moore's a good friend of mine. So, yeah, I mean, the photos keep going, actually. I've got more, more and more photos. Right, let me just share something with you. Okay. Hey Aaron, love your content. When you were working, what was the moment that made you realize? Cool, great question. I'm going to show you some stuff. I'll show you some stuff that I never show on YouTube about my working life. So if you want to see what I was like when I was working, I'll show you in a second. So hang on a minute and I'll show you what I was like. I was a nightmare in my last job. Alan, how's it going? I found a niche that no one is doing. Knocks up a vid last night, got 500 views within 60 minutes. Love that. Okay, so look, let me show you something real quickly, everyone, right? Okay, so escaping the 9 to 5, design your life or be assigned one. By the way, drop me an email at hello@aaronknightley.com if you would like a copy of, let me share it with you. This goes live in 2 weeks. So I have spoken about it in my videos, but if you would like a copy of this, let me just show you the inside of it so you can see. I have designed this. This is going to be available on Shopify and Amazon. If you would like a copy of this planner, which I've designed for simplicity in mind, this is what it's going to look like inside. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. High value tasks, low value, social media tasks, notes, daily workout, self-education, and networking. If you want to get a copy of this, just email me at hello@aaronknightley.com and I'll make sure that you're on the announcement list when that goes live. It'll be about £18, something like that. Okay. Yo, Robert, how's it going, man? Sold my first digital product today off the back of your video course on YouTube. Oh, nice. I love that. I love that. Nice. Right. Okay, escape the 9 to 5, right? Design your life or be assigned one. If you follow me, you know that's what I talk about, right? So we don't need to go over that. So this is kind of the journey, right? This is when I was in a job. So here we go. This is me and my old high vis. You have to wear all the hats. This is me, the creator. That's me, the founder. That's me, just Aaron. You know, I love my fitness. And now I also get to do a lot of public speaking, which I'm very blessed about, right? So when you start this journey of going from employer to founder, you will do everything and anything, right? Jan, sorry, I just missed your comment. So maybe just pop it back in there. So I spent 7 years working in employment in the logistics sector. So there I am on a forklift, never enjoyed my job. There I am drinking a protein shake, chilling. There's me lying down and there's me with my little boy who is now 12. So I did 7 years working in a warehouse logistical environment, and I just knew it wasn't for me. Hey, Sonia, how's it going? Started creating. I'm still working that dreadful 9 to 5, hoping to be able to retire and spend the rest of my days doing something I love. I love that. Sonia, keep pushing and go all in. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is me. I'm a business owner. I'm a content creator, public speaker, Amazon author, podcaster, and investor. So I've been investing privately for around about 8.5 years now. These are just some of the magazines and features that I've been lucky enough to appear in. So I've made the news quite a lot here in the UK. These are just some of my partners and sponsors that I have. And these are just a couple of the companies that I run. So it's actually really good for me to do these lives. I was able to leave my job by earning large commissions. So I was earning large amounts of money in my 20s. Basically, I was churning out money left, right, and centre in my 20s, and I was able to leave my job. I've then been featured on different articles in the UK for basically making money and how I've managed it, and the papers were very fascinated in how I manage my money, right? So this is me now. We run the events company. We've got an office in Bromley. I had an office in Mayfair. We've got a great team, stuff like that. And like I said, we're being very busy right now. And those are just some extra images, right? Okay, let me read these out. I always wanted to work for myself. A co-worker sort of friend turned out to be a snake. He helped me to decide and push me towards freedom. Sometimes a good enemy is better than a bad one. Absolutely. And sometimes these things that happen are actually the push that we need to actually take action. Rupert, what's going on, my man? Aaron, thank you for your content. It's priceless. I barely escaped with my life being on autonomy for 3 years, I'm assuming, 30 years. Was deluded and misdirected by the Matrix. Love you. Oh, man, appreciate that. Okay, so look, could all of you escape? Yes. Could all of you here design your life? Yes. Yo, Ross, what's going on, big boy? Could you be a millionaire? Yes. Could you get in great shape? Yes. Could all of you be happy? Yes, of course you can. It's not out of reach. Of course you can. So look, this is really important for me to remind you. Replacing your job is not that far away. So look, if you're a content creator, all you need to do is £250 per deal, do 2 deals a week, and you've replaced the average job. Online courses, online coaching, paid membership, agency, freelance services. This is just what you need to do per deal or per client, per session. That's how many times you need to do it per week. And you can replace an average job, right? We're in a world of opportunity. Absolutely, yeah, everything does happen for a reason. So escaping the 9 to 5, what does that require you to do, right? So we got to debunk stuff. Is business risky? No. Once upon a time, right? Let's talk about this. Is business risky? No, because you build a business whilst you remain in a job. So you still pay your bills, you still pay your house, you pay your car, whatever you've got going on in your life, you still do all of that, and you build the business in your spare time. The weekends, the bank holidays, you do late nights, early mornings. You do what you need to do. I'm going to show you some images of me at work, right? You'll laugh at none of you have ever seen any of this before, so I'll show you some stuff that you've never seen. In fact, look, who wants to see me when I was younger, right? Do you want to see me what I looked like when I was a little bit younger? I can show you. I love your content. I'm a high school business teacher. I have an idea for a business that is more of a passion. Should I follow through with this or make something using my 9 to 5 knowledge? I think it's a good question. I would say, and I can show you it in a minute, you need to almost do like a self-assessment. So you need to assess your passion versus a potential business model. What's going to thrive and survive? You might like something, but it might not work. Your passion and your experience might be great, but it might not be needed in the market. So number one for all of you, you must understand if the market actually wants the thing that you're doing or the thing that you would like to do. And the best way to understand if you do have a business idea that could work is by creating content and asking questions in your content. Because, for example, why did I start my educational business? I run two programs. They're called the Breakout Program and the TikTok Growth Program. I started the educational company because when I had a video about the last one in, first one out on my TikTok, it did 19.5 million views. It then got reshared around the world. It generated over 200 million views in total. And I was asked the question, Aaron, how do I escape my job? I escaped my job. So I put it into a very in-depth, highly successful now program. And I had feedback from the market to say people wanted to know how to legitimately get out of their job. And I had a very methodical way of doing that. You don't need £10,000 a month. You need to build a service or a product, create sustainability to the point where you are earning the same amount of money, if not just a little bit more than your salary. That allows you to fire your boss and go full-time into a business. So I would start, Stephen, by the thing that you're really good at and your knowledge and the thing that you've been doing for the last 3-4 years. Test that by creating content, share your experiences, your knowledge, tips, tricks, hacks, tutorials, and ask for feedback. Ask questions within the content and just start creating around that. Do that for 3-4 months and you'll understand if you're getting feedback. And then if you do get feedback and it's positive, it's probably worth building some form of service or structure around that passion, that knowledge that you have. But let me show you my old job. Okay. So, okay, I'll answer this question and then I'll show you. I actually don't get burnt out. So, again, we just need to, I think we need to rewire our mindset. I don't get burnt out because I love what I do. So I could work all the time because I really enjoy what I do. I love YouTube. I love TikTok. I love personal branding. I love building the events company. I love building this tech company that we're doing. I love public speaking. I love street interviewing. I love creating products. I love creating services. I love doing my consultancy. So I don't really suffer with burnout. And if I want to take some time off, you know, me and my family, we go on holiday, or I have a spa day every week where me and my friends, we go to the sauna, we go to the steam room, we do the jacuzzi, the private pool, everything like that. So if your name, is it Kirby? I'm going to take a guess that your name's Kirby. When you actually love what you do and you're very passionate about it, you don't typically experience burnout. Ross, how do you deal with a performance improvement plan? Well, if you want my honest opinion, Ross, it's normally the beginning of the end. So I would probably start looking for another job. That's my quick answer. Aaron, can please explain to the UK why are there an abundance of trolley pushers in Tesco's with a university degree who have 50k debt and aimless? When I know the answer, I'll share that with you. But because one, the jobs aren't there. You know, all these grads, they're all competing for one of the jobs that they graduated for. Also, the graduates, they don't actually want the jobs. You know, doctors don't want to be doctors. Let me show you some, let me show you some funny videos, right? Okay, so this is Aaron when he was in a job. All right. I don't know why this has got no sound. I don't know why that's got no sound. Should have sound. Okay, let's, this should have sound. This was me in my job. This was back in the day, everyone. As you can see, I took it seriously. There we go. So yeah, I never really took my job too seriously. I was always sleeping whenever I could, and
Ready? Go on.
oh, and it went in. Look at that. So yeah, I never really took my job too seriously. I was always mucking about in my last one. Yeah. And then I don't know, what else have I got? I mean, this is pretty cool. I can share this with you. So, Mac footage, what one's that? Ta-da. Let me, I'm just seeing what else I can show you. I did have some footage of my office, but currently I don't know where I've put it. I thought it was on workstations. Okay. No new podcasts as it stands. I've been on a lot of podcasts recently, but I haven't got any new ones that I've produced myself. I'm 33. My passion already is showing great potential. Biggest problem, my family. I have no children and my girlfriend is supportive, but mother and grandparents will not acknowledge work from home as real. Ignore them. You know, everyone will judge until it works. You know, once upon a time, people would say that YouTubers and personal brands, you know, they were all a joke. But, you know, people will always laugh and joke until you prove them wrong. So I would say, Jan, just, you know, focus on you and ignore people who doubt, because we are in different times now. A personal brand is very, very lucrative. It earns a lot of money if you know how to commercialize and position yourself. So look, my social media alone is multiple six figures. I've gone over £200,000 now between TikTok and YouTube. So I would ignore people like baby boomers and grandparents, because it, you know, at the end of the day, what they think or what they say, it makes no odds. You know, you have your life and you need to pursue and have purpose. You said you were in engineering and logistics. I presume you didn't want to start a business. Well, the answer no. So no, the answer is no. However, my tech software company is in logistics and distribution. So I can't show you too much. I mean, look, I can show you. So I can't show you too much, but I can show you this. This is the pitch deck from when. So, but basically, for those of you who don't know, I have secured an incubator for the tech startup companies. And if anyone who doesn't know what an incubator is, I needed to raise a lot of money for pre-seed, for the software to be built and for the marketing to be paid for, and you know, the pattern, the trademarking. For the team, there's a tech team of 4 people now. There's a CEO of the incubator, and obviously we have an equity share within the company. I'm majority shareholder in the software company. But what I can show you is just this. So this is a couple of slides from the pitch deck. So I obviously noticed a huge problem within the logistics and distribution area, and we've gone about now building an entire software around what's called a 3-tier problem solve API software integration. So it's all like very, you know, it's like all big fancy words, but what it does is it solves the problem in the logistics and the distribution, retailer and manufacturer industry, you know. And what it does is it solves several problems, and it helps with environmental factors such as CO2 emissions, wastage, fraud, last mile, customer satisfaction, loyalty and retention for retailers. And this is what this software does. So yeah, I escaped my job by raising money. And I suppose what I can show you is I mean, if you haven't watched it, it's probably worth watching. But like this video here, hey, cool teacher, I'm in a consumer mode now. It would be okay since I produced a lot today. Hey Patrick, I kind of get that, I kind of don't. Is being a musician a realistic goal these days? Oh my God, yeah, get on TikTok and just live stream the hell out of it, like all the time. Hey Aaron, it's Tyrell, the breakdancer. I've been following you and I like your approach. What do you think is the best way to sell on YouTube as a beginner? Well, just add loads of value. Don't sell, just, you never sell, just add loads of value. Like teach people how to break dance, do tutorials, do walkthroughs. As you'll see, I'm doing a lot of long form videos. So yeah, for the foreseeable, Tyrell, don't sell, don't plug anything. Just build unbreakable loyalty, add loads and loads of value, create a free community, and then in the free community start to talk about your services and products, and and maybe go start like a go high level account where you can start building a page, some funnels, some lead magnet, stuff like that. Like everyone will need a lead magnet if you want to sell services or products or digital services of any kind. You will need a CRM system, and I use ClickFunnels, but most recently I'm using Go High Level because I've now partnered with Go High Level. If you haven't seen it, it's probably worth checking out on my Instagram. So this is my Instagram for anyone that doesn't know. This video here, this shows a lot about me as well. So if you haven't seen this, this gives you a good background. I think it even shows my Mayfair office here as well. So from a young age, I've always been confident, loud, outspoken. I've loved camaraderie. I love my sports. I love being with friends. But most importantly, I've loved being with people who like to achieve a higher level. I think what's really helped me from a young age is my fitness. I've always worked out. I like to stay in shape, eat clean. The more you lift, the harder you train, the bigger the muscles, the stronger you get. Even when I started working in employment, I knew that I didn't want to be there for a long time. It wasn't really until my late teens and nearly turning 20 when I had my son, that was the wake-up call. And I'm a big believer in having your reason why. I knew that I had to drive towards something better. Financial stability, time freedom is what I wanted. So this was my office in Mayfair that I had. To be proud of and have self-fulfillment. I love having purpose in my life. Networking has been a huge part of my life. I've never been overly smart, to be honest with you, like academics. I didn't get any GCSEs or anything like that at school. I didn't enjoy it, but I network a lot and I've built great relationships to the point where we've gone on to build a business called Peak Performance Events. I love adventure. I love exploring life. I love being curious about things. I love taking time out to reflect on actually how far I've come. When I started on social media, I started having a presence where I realised I was able to help people, and a lot of people wanted to escape their jobs, which is also when I created the business, the Breakout program. How to fire your boss and replace your income. My biggest advice to anyone is never to make excuses and just to own where you are in life without blaming someone else. There's a saying that really resonates with me from Tim Grover. If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill of regret. So yeah, so that was just like, but you know, let me share something with you as well, which is really important, right? Is like I've been homeschooling my son. Let me answer these questions. How much wealth do you need to live off just your wealth? So here's the winner chicken dinner, is you learn to keep your expenses low. So on social media, it tells you that you need to make £10,000 a month, and that's the figure, £10,000 a month, 10,000. You don't need £10,000 a month. What you need to do is you need to be able to independently, financially cash flow on your own. And then with that, just be very, very smart for 5, 10 years with your money. Commodities, private pensions, stocks and shares, government bonds, just very, very basic investment vehicles, and do that for 10 years. And then build in autonomy. Like YouTube is a prime example of autonomy and evergreen. You create something once, it pays you forever. You create a digital product online with systems, processes, and sequencing, it will pay you forever. You just need to be the marketer. And then when you get to the point where you're earning enough money, you hire someone to do the outsourcing of the marketing or whatever it is. So how much money do you need to live on? Well, it's more of a case of how well have you managed your money? And it's about having minimal expenses. It's about not buying materialistic things. I'm sitting here in my company clothing. I've got Primark shorts on. We don't buy expensive things as a family. We do like to go on holiday because we want to make memories as a family, me, my wife and my son. But that's the trick. So to answer your question, it's not about having a certain number. It's about always keeping your expenses low, but your cash flow sustainable. And then you never have to work a job again. Yo, Hussein, how's it going? I always find the hardest thing is knowing what to start. Well, Ross, if you haven't watched it, go watch Business Models to Replace Your 9-to-5 Job. That should spark some ideas for you, mate. That's a full hour video as well. How can people work 30, 40 years in a soul-sucking company before knowing you and forming my escape plan? I felt so empty, like a zombie. Now I wake up and I'm one day closer. Love it. Aaron, they recruited a guy who wanted me out, realised he could climb the ladder, take my client, zero loyalty, 30 years graft. I was devastated, but I now know I was chasing the wrong dream. Yeah. I want to aim for 5K a month, very realistic, as I need to pay off debt first quickly. Love that. And by the way, if you have children, the reason we homeschool, I don't know if anyone else homeschools, is because I've had people in the past say to me, well, how's your son going to fit in with society? I don't want my son to fit in with society. I don't want my son to fit in with society. So let me show you a video of my son here. So, if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's probably best to, that's where you can see like all behind the scenes stuff.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Like, this is really important to me, that my son experiences life. If anyone's a parent here,
what was once just in your imagination. Come with.
like, it's so important that as parents, we take responsibility to teach our children about money, about life, about social media management. There's another video here of us on holiday. We just came back from Tenerife, but also to treasure moments. Be present. Be present with your family.
All I could taste is your sweet, and all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over. You're the closest.
All of you are so close to freedom. You have no idea. You're this close to living a life on your terms. You're all this close. You just need to change a few things in your life. Hussein, appreciate that. I'm a teacher and I can't stand it. Should I leave my job? Well, look, I can't decide that for you, but I think it's better to have a plan or an alternative for the foreseeable, it's always better that you replace your income before you leave, is my honest opinion. What are your opinion on these gurus selling online courses to escape the 9 to 5? Well, I sell, I sell a very, a highly successful program in terms of escaping the 9 to 5. But mine's realistic, and mine's been incredibly successful. I think you just have to do your due diligence, and if you're going to work with someone, you have to trust them, you have to like them, you have to see them as someone that you would like to do something very similar to them. There's a lot of people out there teaching things that they don't know, but it's down to the individual to conduct your own due diligence. I always say to anyone that I end up working with is that make sure you trust me, that you have conducted your due diligence, that you're happy. So, it's a two-way street. So yes, there are some people that, are teaching things that they haven't done, but then there are a lot of good people, me being one of them. There are a lot of good people out there who are excellent at what they do, and they have created incredible programs and courses. But most importantly, it's action. The person needs to take action. I mean, I can show you. All of you are welcome to join one of my webinars. I'm not running one just yet, but I am going to be running a webinar at some point. I don't know when I'm going to be running a webinar, but I will be running a webinar at some point. But like I can show you here, like for example, this is like one of my programs, which is the Breakout, and this has been highly successful. I mean, I've helped over something like 50 odd people leave there. I've got 180 members in my Breakout program, and we've had some incredible success stories of people leaving their jobs, running their businesses full time. So I've got, oh my gosh, I've got testimonials after testimonials after testimonials of people who have gone on and left their jobs, and you name it. I mean, even if we go on to the Breakout program, even if you go on testimonials here, where's the mute button?
Stuck, and my growth
Rebecca
just wasn't
has been
accelerating like I wanted it to. So I reached out to
successful
Aaron,
now.
who was able to provide me with a lot of support and a lot of intel on.
Hi everyone, my name is Jackson Feely, and I reached out to Aaron. The message was what I was trying to.
Hello, my name's Chris, and this is my experience with the Breakout program so far. Starting off with the modules, I'd say the content and the resources to setting up my business, to take action.
I would highly recommend Aaron Knightley's Breakout Elite course to anybody.
I highly recommend Aaron's Breakout program.
Hi. I recommend the Breakout £1,000 notes if you don't.
On people, this is a testimonial for Aaron Knight who.
Hi, my name is Holly. I joined the Breakout program.
Holly's done very well.
So I joined Aaron's Breakout, and that he gives the goes above. So I decided to join the Breakout.
Just goes on.
So I've been working with Aaron now for around 5 months.
Just wanted to jump on a recent.
So this just
I've known
goes...
Aaron Knightley for a while now, and I've worked with him for a while as well, and he's a real deal. He's got a real passion for...
This is my actual mentor. So for anyone who doesn't know, Jason Greystone is a self-made multi-millionaire. He's been featured in Forbes, you name it, all over the show, and he is my actual mentor. So this message means a lot.
Live a life that they want, and the reason being is because he lived and breathed it. He's frustrated because he has been in a corporate business, he's worked his way up into
and yes, Ross, that is
corporation,
incredibly important.
See how it wasn't for him, realise it wasn't for him, realise there was a better way, and he worked out how to leverage his time, leverage these assets, these platforms that we've got to our advantage, and leverage.
And Tyrell, I'll answer that question in just a second, dude.
And live a life that he loves, and he's really passionate about helping other people do that. And the great thing about Aaron is he can do it. You know, I know a lot of people who've got millions of followers and still have a 9 to 5 that is uninspiring to them because they don't know how to leverage that, how to use leverage to bring in income. And Aaron's Aaron's been great at that. He's a master of that. So if you are in a position where you feel uninspired and you know that there's something more to life, then listen to Aaron. He knows what he's talking about.
So that means a lot to me, because that's my actual mentor. You know these videos where I'm driving. So it's quite funny because I've always been asked in the comments, where are you driving in your car? And typically when I do the car videos, when I'm driving to my mentor's house. He lives about 45 minutes away from me. So that's when I record my YouTube videos in the car. Because, people will ask funny questions. Where are you driving to? That's where I'm driving to. So how do I prepare? So yeah, mine are super simple, Tyrell. I have a list in my phone of things that I like to talk about, things that I think are important to talk about, and I just hit record. I make a few notes, like bullet points. I just get the bullet points in my head, and then I sit down and I literally press record. So I can show you the video that's going to be coming out on YouTube for all of you to watch in a couple of days. So let me share this with you. So this is the video. This is like a preview, by the way. So this is, are you living a life by design or a life by default, and one that has been assigned to you? That is the question in today's video. So there we go. So that is a little insight to the video that's going to be coming out probably tomorrow. So that video is out tomorrow, and that will be about, are you a slave or are you free, living a life by design? It's unedited, that, by the way. My editor hasn't edited it yet. He will edit that, and that will be finished by tomorrow, ready for tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, I literally make a few notes and then I just press record, and that's it. Because that's the beauty of talking about things that you've lived and breathed, is that you don't necessarily, you get to a point where you get to a point where you don't need to script. I find if you script, it takes away the human element too much. I just like to know what I'm talking about, that the main things that I need to cover, and then just talk like people were in front of me. Life by design. Yup. And don't forget, if you want to get on the pre-order list of the Life by Design notepad, drop me an email. No, I'm not nervous at all behind the camera. Any tips for gaining enough confidence to press record for the first time? Yeah, absolutely. Who has anyone ever seen my first YouTube video? Let me show you one of my first YouTube videos. Right, so some of you might have seen my video, my videos now. So this is one of my first videos. So Ash, check this out. This is one of my this is one of my first videos. Look how awful this is. So Ash, do not worry, we all start somewhere. Look how bad this is. No audio, no lighting.
Said life way too many times. So priority payment. So any income, any
I look knackered, I look tired, the lighting's awful.
These stages, these 8 stages.
I look serious.
So priority payment 1, living expenses. Everyone has living expenses. So that is your number 1. What do you need to live? So obviously that's where the money's going first. 2, I really advise clearing down.
Yo, CEO, how's it going?
Any credit, or if you have a credit card, for example.
So, yeah, we all start somewhere. I mean, I look older there than I do now. So, yeah, just start. Your first 2, 3, 4, 5 videos, they're not going to be great, but you will get better. It's just, practice makes perfect. I mean, there's no more to it than that, really. I mean, I would take on a good editor as well. Have good audio, have good audio. I mean, I've got a lot of cameras now. I've spent a lot of money on equipment and stuff. Just good audio. Have good audio. If you think the price of discipline is too high, wait. Yeah, so if you think the price of winning, but more importantly, yeah, discipline. I mean, I'm big into my discipline. If you're not following me on Instagram and you want to see more behind the scenes, like, you know, kind of like what I get up to and stuff like that. Honestly, I mean, I posted this earlier.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been at you. If I was you, I would cut out my wrist. Ever since I was
Self-educate, self-develop, network, and lock in for 12 months. Lock in for 12 months and go hard. What else? Let's have a look. And you know, also, I'm just trying to think if there's any other posts that are pretty good. Here we go. Oh, let me show you this one. So there we go. Building and running a business is so tough and full of pressures. But I'm not going to be spending 45 years of my life asking for permission to go on holiday or when I can eat my lunch. And you know what I would say? Work out. Every single one of you work out. Train like a beast. Yo, Sam, how's it going, my man? Sam in Russia. Working on creating my fitness guide. By the way, I'm just going to screen cap my live. So I'm just going to do this while I screen cap my live. Hang on. I'm just going to screenshot this. And I'm going to post this on my Instagram. Yo, Chris, what's going on, dude? Paul, how's it going, man? Is at the age of 41 too late? No, come on. Your age just means your runway is getting a little bit shorter, which means you need to be more calculated with your time. Let me just remind you, if anyone would like a copy of my Life by Design planner, it's going to come out like this. It'll be wire bound. The whole point of this planner is to simplify your life so you get more done. And this is what it's going to look like inside. You start a new page every day. So you fill out the day, time slots, high value tasks, only 5 of them, low value tasks, social media tasks, notes, and make sure you do a daily workout, self-educate, and you've networked in some way, shape or form, online or in person. And you do that, rip it out, start a new page the next day. So if you want a copy of that, that's going to go live on Amazon and Shopify in about 2 weeks. If you email my team at hello@aaronknightley.com, you'll be on the list to get a copy. Aaron, when I first started to get tattoos, I was targeted for being different, but by being different, I escaped the 9 to 5. Yeah, look, I'm covered in tattoos, and I you know, one comment that I often get is, you know, who's going to listen to a guy with a tattoo on his neck? Well, as I say to these people, the guy with a tattoo on his neck has done incredibly well for himself. And at a young age as well. So, you know, tattoos don't diminish your IQ. Tattoos don't take away your ability to succeed. You know, people who are judgmental about someone's looks will have a low IQ. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about tattoos. The only thing with tattoos, I wouldn't get a face tattoo. I think things become tricky when you have a face tattoo. Right. Aaron, most people above 50 only know the systems and the idea from the 90s not being the future. Yeah, I know. Yeah, look, there is an educational flaw here, and times have changed. Like, for all of you to be free. So if you're going to live a life by freedom, I tell you what, let's go in the garden, because let me just turn off my Wi-Fi. Hang on. Bear with me 2 seconds. We can walk and talk. I've just got to take my tripod down to my son in the garden, so hang on. Just hold the line, cool up, and let's head down to the garden. Hang on, let me switch the camera on. So here we go. Look, this is the neighbour's cat. So hopefully you can still hear me. The neighbour's cat. There she is. Oh, where are you? there. Right. But yeah, look, if you're of an older generation, it's more about just starting to learn and rewire and understand that we are in very different times. Like we're not in the 80s or 90s, and it's never too late. You know, learn about AI, learn about systems, learn processes, learn about autonomy, learn about cash flow. It's never too late. All right. Here we go. This is where I do my filming, in here. There's my little boy. Give a wave. You're on YouTube live. There we go. And this is where the filming goes on. So this is actually where I sit when dude, do you want to turn on the light a second? So this is where I do. These are my 2 ring lights. And this is like the bottom of the garden. So this is where we have bonfires at home. So like the garden's sectioned off. So that's the second part of the garden. And down here is where the cabin is. So how do you feel about AI in the future? Is it riskier to stay? Well, for me, it's not risky because obviously I'm out of a job, but I just make sure that I learn about it. It's complicated, it's tricky to learn. It's not necessarily easy to understand all the time, but it's a must. We've all got to learn about it. It is coming. It's already here. You know, look, it is going to make a lot of jobs obsolete because that's going to happen. But if you don't do anything about it, or you don't try and learn anything about it, then I think you could be, you know, in a vulnerable position. I think it's just wise for everyone to consider learning how to make your own money. Yo, how's it going to you in the Netherlands? What is the name of your platform, please, that has so many positive reviews? Just go on my Instagram. So it's all just privately held on. Just go on my Instagram, and then or you can go on what's called the TikTok growth program or the breakout program, or you can just go on my main one and just look at, and I've got a section for all testimonials. Being corporate for about 1.5 years now, after being in a small family business, I feel people get institutionalized of corporate. Yeah, they do. Well, yeah, massively, because it's all people know. Again, so let me just say, it's not about having a big limited company. It's not about having a big office. It's not about having loads of employees. Freedom is about making enough money that makes you and your family happy and comfortable, that you can live life on your terms. Like, you know, again, behind the scenes, this is the first YouTube live I've ever done, but me and my family, we go for breakfast pretty much every morning. We go for a walk. We go on holiday when we want. You know, we're just about to go on holiday again. We come back from holiday. We go away for my birthday. We go away to Disney. So, you know, we don't have fancy things, but we wanted, me and my wife and my son, we wanted to create a life where we can make memories and we can live and we can enjoy time together. That's the thing, time. I don't want to give, I never wanted to give 40 hours a week to an employer that doesn't care for me, that doesn't respect me, that doesn't pay me accordingly, that there's not a fair exchange of value. So I knew I had to take responsibility, as so many people are now realizing that if you want change, you have to be the change. What can you tell about paid membership business model for content creation, in which cases it may work? Well, I run a program called the TikTok growth program, and it's been highly successful. And you can go have a look at all my testimonials. But I think if you're gonna work with someone, or you're gonna enter into some form of a program, make sure that you, again, due diligence, that you like the person, that they've done what you wanted to do, that you know that their clients have done well, and that they're authentic, and that they deliver on their promise. You know, it just like basic stuff. You know, if someone was going to work with me, they would book a discovery call. I would see that if I'm aligned with that person, I would also say, if you're going to ever enter someone's program, make sure that they were financially sustainable before they ever made a program. Like, I became financially comfortable in my 20s, and then years later, then I made online programs. But I had already left my job years ago. You know, I'm 32 now. I left my job at 27 years old. So I've built a very big brand online and stuff like that. So I would just say to you, conduct your own due diligence. Aaron, peak performance feels like super like the red carpet experience. Peak performance is, yeah, is top tier. We're franchising at the moment. We are franchising to broaden the company. So if you ever want to run an events company, you can buy a franchise from us. Aaron, I'm 50, but I'm really excited about my tech company. So yes, there's these other elements, but I am most excited at the moment about my tech company. That I am really excited about, and probably 4 or 5 weeks from now, I can publicly talk about my tech company. I have to make sure that all the patenting goes through, the trademarking goes through, and in about 5 weeks' time, I will be able to publicly announce the company, which is going to be this new tech software. So that I'm really excited about. Aaron, I'm 55 years old, frazzled from 30 years in the matrix, international sales, running sales teams. What would you recommend? I don't know, maybe you start a sales agency. Maybe you know, if you're good at running events, or you're good at bringing people together, maybe you run some form of paid community. Maybe you start online consulting in the sales in the sales niche industry. You do online consulting. You teach businesses how to increase sales. You know, learn about AI, and then you start helping businesses work towards a SaaS sales product. Or if you're really good at something, just create content around it. First and foremost, just create loads of content around the thing that you really love and that you're really good at. I started creating content about the workplace and all the problems, because when I left my job, I was so sick of all the problems that I wanted to voice it, and it became a brand. So talk about the things that you love. Specifically on TikTok and YouTube. Okay. Hi, Aaron. Appreciate you and your channel. I'm still at the seed of an idea stage, but every single one of your uploads has been a massive inspiration. Love it. Well, push forward. Glad to see you live. Awesome. Well, look, if you don't follow me on TikTok, I do a lot of live streams on TikTok. I will start doing more. Hang on. Are you coming back in here? Huh? Are you coming back in here?
No, probably not.
Do you want to get your bottle?
Can I not put it in the bin?
No.
Okay, I'll put it in the bin in a sec.
Well, it's just I'm going to lock the cabin up. Just grab it for me. I'll tell you what, do you want to bring the key up when you come up? Hello. Hello that way. Neighbour's cat. 40 years sitting in an office. What's that? This is what it's about. I like pottering at home. See, I don't really do much. I try not to go out. I try not to see too many people. This is what I talk about in my content. I don't waste time. I like to be at home with family. Yeah, I like to be around my wife, my son. We just potter about at home, and that's the way that we like it. We like the small things in life. Aaron, 40 years sitting in an office with a computer doing the same thing is crazy. As you said in your videos, look at London Bridge. Yeah, I mean, I go into London, I'm in London. I'm in London next week and the week after, because I've got a speaking gig. And then I'm at a book launch next week. And yeah, London, you've only got to look around you, and the corporate world, the corporate zombies are real. I will certainly do more live streams on YouTube now that I've done this one, for sure. Hi mate, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel and TikTok around addictions such as cigarettes and helping people to get their minds great. That's a very hot topic that could do well in the right place to get people in the right, going through a divorce too. Well, sorry about that. That's a great niche. So I actually have a friend who's also going through a divorce, and he's early 50s, and I've said to him that he should talk about the overcoming of the hardship of going through a divorce, but also staying physically fit, because he's in the fitness industry as a man. And I think one of the most important things for a man to do, especially, is to stay physically fit no matter what. Best footballer you like? Well, for me it was David Beckham, but let's see who my son likes. Who's your favourite footballer?
Huh?
Who's your favourite footballer?
Neymar Jr.
Who?
Neymar Jr.
Neymar Jr. Neymar Jr. And who are you on the phone to? Who are you on the phone to? His girlfriend. Who are you on the phone to? Your girlfriend? You don't like it, I've said that. Right, look, my battery's gonna die, so there we go. My first live on YouTube. So happy days. Well, look, until next time, I will be live. I'll do another live tomorrow. I'm gonna live stream on TikTok later. So if you're not following me on TikTok, you can join me on there. And yeah, you're this close to freedom. Good morning. And I've got a new video out tomorrow, so go check that out. Right, everyone, I must go, but I will see you all soon. Yo, Jamie, how's it going? I'm literally just on the back end of my live, so I'm going to say cheerio. Yoni, thanks so much. Robert, appreciate it. Right, everyone, got to go. Bye-bye.